Well, we are currently in Rancho Santa Fe, California on this dewy morning, and I am taking a look at the 2025 Lincoln Navigator. And you know what I'm going to do in this video? You guessed it, I am going to do a tech check because I have to tell you, there is a lot of new technology on this vehicle, and yeah, I don't even know if I understand it all or if I'm going to get to it all, but we're going to try. We're going to try in under half an hour. So let's take a look at this week's car du jour, the 2025 Lincoln Navigator. All right, now the first thing that I want to start with is going to be at the back of the vehicle. And you know what? I'm just going to point out initially that the windshield wiper blade has moved underneath this spoiler here. So not necessarily a technical thing, but worth noting. Nope, what I want to talk about actually is this rear tailgate area, because Lincoln has done something interesting with it for this model year. They've created a split tailgate area. And what that does is it allows you to either open both at once, or you can just open the top. You can't just open the bottom. I'm going to put that out there. But you can open just the top, or you can open them both together. And you set that feature in the head unit in the beginning in the settings. So, and you can open it with your key fob. You can open it with, there's a button right here. And when you close it, you can close it one by one. So I'm going to close it here, and then you press the button here and you can close it there. So you have the opportunity to close each singly. So if you just wanted to have the bottom closed and load stuff in, you could do that. And then the button is here. And if you press the button, it just opens the one. So you have options in how you can open and close this. And then if you wanted to open the bottom, you can do that. And then again, you can use your key fob to close them both. I think that's a pretty cool tech feature. I think it gives you a lot of options, and it's fairly unique. I haven't seen that on a large SUV in this segment currently. So I think it's cool. Before we go inside, there's one more thing that I want to show you that's in this back area. Now, I want to point out that this has a full third row seat where you can seat three. You do have the ability to put down just this, or just that. You have a 40, 20, 40 split folding rear seat, and you would have to use the tab on the back of that middle one if you just want to put the middle one down and leave the back two up. But if you want to put them down in some other combination, you do have these power buttons right here. So you can hit the button that says 3L and it will lower your left side. You can hit the button that says 3R and it will lower the right side. Now, what's really interesting about this is you can do them singly. You only have to press it once, and you can also do them together. There is a single button in the middle that if you press it once and they're down, it'll put them up. If you press it once and they're up, it'll put them down. So I like it. I like that you only have to press it once. There are some that you have to hold. That's annoying. All right, I think we need to go inside now. All right, as we move to go inside, I will point out you do have passive entry on the vehicle. So you have this little scrub right there that if you press it, you will see the doors will lock, your mirrors will fold in, and then to unlock it, you simply put your hand there. You have power running boards, and then when you come inside, yeah, this right here is going to be the big, and I mean that literally, new thing on the Lincoln Navigator. And if you saw my Nautilus review, this also appeared in the Nautilus. It made its debut there, actually. And this is a 48-inch panoramic screen. And we're going to dig into this a little bit, a lot of it, because this is primarily what is really cool and new on this vehicle. So you power it up. Whew, somebody was cranking up the music. So you power it up, and you can see you essentially have like a little split right there down the middle, but this is going to be your gauge cluster. This is going to be your map. Then you have these three like widget areas over here that will allow you to change what you want to do in those three areas. So, you know what, we're just going to break down the screen to start with. So, okay, you hit this right here on your infotainment control panel. Yeah, we'll call it a control panel. On your control panel. And then you can hit that button, and then you can see you've got these modules right here. And this is what you have right now. Lincoln has said they're going to be adding to that. I've heard rumors of a sport ticker and some other things that they're working on putting in here. But right now you've got your clock, fuel economy, you've got trailer module, you've got trip 1, trip 2, and then your weather. And so you can see you've got a compass, you've got your audio, and you've got your tire pressure up there already. And if I were going to do this for me, like, I'm always wondering what time it is. So I'm going to put the clock up there. I like having directional sense, so we'll put the compass in the middle. And then, you know what? I want to know what my fuel economy is as well. And I'm going to point out, this vehicle has literally just been sitting on the lawn for like 3 days now. So that 2.2 miles per gallon, not accurate. This car has not moved. It has been sitting at idle pretty much the entire time. So once you have these items up here, I also want to point out you do have a little variation for the clock. You do have the ability to configure it a little bit, and I imagine more is coming. So that's kind of how you can configure this space here. And then the other thing that you can do is there is the ability to change the how this, like, the panel looks. You have some theme settings. So you go into your settings, you go into there's display, that's what I want. So you go into your display, and then over here you can see you've got themes. So right now they've got it on Constellation, and you can see that there are some other theme options here. So we'll just look at that really quick. So Constellation, this is going to be tranquil, and it just kind of blacks everything out. You've got engage, which makes some tiny shifts. You've got some purple. You've got like a little purple platter that the speedometer is now sitting on. You can go to inspire, and okay, that's kind of cool because you've got like some little Marsy looking things going on. So it's just kind of interesting in how this is set up in terms of, you do have some themes, and I imagine they will probably make some more themes. And I believe the vehicle only comes standard with Constellation, and then you can download additional themes. I think that's what I heard once you own the vehicle. So I think there will probably be even more themes available as you go. Okay, so I will point out I am not currently set up for my seating position. So I'm going to adjust my seat a little bit, and that will also show you, these are the up level. So this is a black label model. And so these are the up level 30 position, perfect position seats. And when you so I've kind of adjusted my seat here, and there's like a center dial on the seat. And when you press that, this pops up, and it will allow you to then move through different sections of the seat, and you can adjust those seats. Then you have a massage function, and you can go into your seat adjustments again. I'm just going to leave the massaging seats on, and you can also adjust your headrest, which I think is really cool because you can move it up, you can move it down, you can move it in, you can move it out. So depending on how you are comfortable and how you want your head to hit the headrest, you have the ability to do that. Now, while we are on this screen, I think I'm just going to also go into your climate controls, because there's also a lot going on here with that. So you do have the ability to adjust your temperature simply through this area right here, your heated seat, heated steering wheel. You can adjust your fan speed and things like that on the bottom panel. But if you want to be a little more customized or adjustable, you have to hit this little center icon here, and it will pull up this, which shows you your airflow, which I've currently turned it off. But if I wanted to change the airflow, and you go into the center icon there, you can kind of move the fans where you would like them. And what I think is really interesting is they have some presets. So I hate air blowing on my face. I hate it. And which is why I usually go to just like the foot airflow, because I don't want air on my face. But if you were going to put air on your body, they have some standard templates that you could then hit this and it will automatically take the airflow off your body. But if somebody likes the airflow on their body, you know, there could be a little template for that as well. So I like the fact that this is really customizable. TBD on how I feel about all of this being through the screen. So there is no like tab here for you to adjust your fan anymore. It is all through the screen. All right, I wanted to switch camera angles a little bit because I want to talk a little bit more about what is going on here and also a little bit about what is going on in the cluster while you're dealing with this. So first off, let's talk about the steering wheel, because the steering wheel is a bit of a different shape. It is more of a squircle than an actual circle. And the reason why they've done that is so that you can easily see over the top of the steering wheel to see this new panel screen. And I do want to point out that the screen actually sits below the hood line. So I've had a lot of people ask me, well, is this distracting? Can you see over it? You know, what's the deal here? It is not distracting, and you can see over it. And in fact, I can see the hood over the top of the screen. I mean, you can't right now because it's a little bit dewy, but I can see it. We'll just, you know what, let's do there. Now you can see it too. So let's talk about adjustments, because this allows you to adjust your foot pedals, it allows you to adjust your steering wheel, and it allows you to adjust your side mirrors through this. So you don't have any buttons on your door, you don't have to go through the screen, hallelujah, but you do have to use this. So there's a little icon up in this corner here, and it looks like a mirror and a steering wheel together. And when you press it, it pulls up on the control panel your icons that you can adjust. So you can do your steering wheel, you can do your foot pedals, you can do your side mirrors. And I want to start with the foot pedals, because then that kind of predicts how you will adjust your seat, which predicts how you're going to adjust your steering wheel, which predicts how you're going to adjust your side mirrors. So we'll just start with the pedals. So that's the bottom item here, and you can either adjust them in or out. So that's above the center press button or below the center press button. And I want them to come in, which essentially pushes the pedals towards me. And then I can now adjust my seat and how I want that. And I'll, you know, I pretty much had it where I wanted it. So I just want to move the seat back up a little bit. And okay, so now I feel like I have a good seating position. I have good pedal position. And one of the reasons why I like to put the pedals out towards me is because that creates space between my knee and the bottom of the dash. Now, a lot of times, if I have to sit closer to the steering wheel, I'm like fighting with, you know, all of that. So thanks to Lincoln for keeping their adjustable pedals. I think Ford, Lincoln, and Stellantis, so Ram and Wagoneer, Grand Wagoneer, those are the only vehicles that have adjustable pedals. Google that. I'm not wrong. So now it's time to adjust the steering wheel. So you go back to this button right here, and there's an icon on the top, and you press that, and then you can go up, you can go down, you can go out, you can go in. So all of that to me is pretty logical. And I'm going to push the steering wheel all the way out. And for me, I like to have it all the way down. And I have a good steering wheel position. So I feel like steering wheel's good. I feel like, you know, my seat is good. Now we have to go to the side mirrors. And this, I'll be honest with you, is what I was really, really worried about, because you have to do it through here. Now, yeah, you're going to preset up your side mirrors by sitting in your garage or your parking space or wherever it is that you are going to adjust your side mirrors. So I'm going to adjust them in a little bit just so that I can see the rear corner, and then I want to take them down a little bit. And then I'm going to switch mirrors, and I'm going to do the same thing. So I'm going to bring them in, and then I'm going to take them down. And I'll be honest with you, this is a fairly logical and easy to use thing. But I did trip myself up a little bit a couple of times, because in this bottom left corner, there's a little icon that says switch mirrors. So I wanted to pull the camera down so that you could see a little bit better what I was doing. And this is the little switch mirrors icon. So as I was going around trying to adjust my mirrors, I would very often hit this instead of this. And so that is something you would definitely have to get used to as an owner. But overall, I like how this is. Like, I almost wish maybe they would put like a little circle or something over these areas so that you had like a almost like a braille bump touch point to say this is where you touch, so that you can hit your up and down buttons. But other than that, like, again, I find this much better to use than any kind of a system that you're going to operate through the screen. But yeah, so I don't know. You'd have to get used to it. I wish there were bumps that would tell you exactly where you're supposed to press. Now, when you look over at this side here, this is primarily going to be your Blue Cruise Adaptive Cruise Control section. And when you hit this, you will get an icon up here, or a menu that pops up, and that will show you if you want to set it, if you want to resume your speed. And then once it's set, there are little buttons that will show you up here where you can increase your speed or decrease your speed. And when Blue Cruise is available, if you're driving on a highway, one of the blue zones, it will actually show up back here saying Blue Cruise available. So you aren't left guessing whether or not you are going to be driving hands-free or not. And you know what? I'm gonna insert a little segment here from the video that I did for Pickup Truck Plus SUV Talk that shows a little bit of my Blue Cruise driving. So you press this button, you activate, essentially it's adaptive cruise control. Once Blue Cruise is activated, you will see behind the cluster here, it is blue, and it literally says hands-free. Now, after the stress of driving, I will say you could get home and you want a couple of minutes to just before you go inside. And so another one of the interesting tech features that Lincoln has added is the ability for you to rejuvenate. And these are essentially little 5 or 10 minute meditations that you can activate in the vehicle. And as you see, like, the theme on the screen will change depending on which activation you select. So you have, this cool water element, or you can go with a waterfall theme. And then it gives you the ability to select 5 minutes or 10 minutes, depending on how much time you think you need to actually relax and rejuvenate. And what it will do is it will take you through a 5-minute meditation. And I should point out that people who buy the Lincoln Navigator will get a 1-year subscription fee or free subscription to the Calm app. So this is kind of in partnership with Calm. So, I did waterfall before, so I'm gonna select the elements is what they're calling it. And so you select it, and then you hit 5 minutes, continue, and you will notice the steering wheel goes up. Woo! My seat's going to go back. Way back. And it's starting to play some music. And I have my massager is still on. The heated seats are on. And it's just a nice little relaxing moment. And I know in the waterfall one that I did, they actually had, just take a deep breath. And they were going through like some meditation techniques. And I'll be honest, it was really kind of nice. And what it'll do is when it gets into the last minute of your rejuvenate moment, it will start to lift your seat up. It will turn off your massage. It will cool down the cabin. And things will invigorate a little bit, because, like, if you do have to drive some more, they don't want you to actually fall asleep. They want you to calm down, but then they want to wake you back up. So I don't know. I think this is a really cool feature. And I'll be honest, the older I get, the more I see a use case for this, because there are some moments like you get home and you've had a really bad day and you don't want to take that in the house with you. And so you just sit in your garage, you sit, you know, in your parking spot, door's locked, by the way, door's locked, but you sit and you take that moment before you have to go in and you have to deal with the next thing. So I think this is a really cool feature. And I don't think I mentioned it, but the other thing that happens is Lincoln has what they call scents. They have little scent buckets that you can, it's the Lincoln Digital Scent. So it smells really good. I actually have the Mystic Forest at home as a scent spray. I love that. But at any rate, so you have these scent modules that you put in here, and then when you are doing this Rejuvenate experience, it will give you a scent experience as well. So it's aromatherapy. I think all of this is pretty cool. All right, I'm reaching the end of my Rejuvenate experience. My seat is starting to move up, and it will move me back to the position that I was in. It'll move the steering wheel down. And as you can see, like the colors are getting a little bit more warm and fiery to like less soothing so that it will wake you up. I'm just going to turn that down. We'll finish what I want to say before we close this out. And that is, I do want to talk about a couple of other things. So you do have wireless charging in the Lincoln Navigator. And I'm going to tell you, like most other wireless chargers in vehicles, it sucks. And the Black Label not only has it here, but they also put it in the rear seat. And yeah, that sucks too. So it heats up your phone. Like I had my phone in here and then I picked it up and my phone was like, your phone is too hot to operate. So that's no good. And it also just is like more of a trickle charge. So this is the kind of space that you would use it if you're going to be in your car for like 15 minutes and you're just looking for a place to set your phone. Yeah, that's what you're going to use this for. You're not using this to actually charge your phone. Nope, you've got a USB-C and a USB-A charge port in here. That is what you want to use to charge your phone. I'm gonna put that out there for you. Now, I feel like I would be remiss if I just didn't at least try to talk about one more thing. I mean, it's bright outside today, but I do feel the extraordinary need to point out that you do have the, Lincoln lighting, the Embrace welcome lighting that happens. And I mean, LED lights, you're going to have a hard time seeing it in the brightness, but the car is unlocked right now. So now I'm going to lock it. And you can see how it kind of comes in to the central star and just essentially powers down. Now, if I'm going to unlock the vehicle, it starts from the central star and moves out and then comes back in. And if you go to the back of the vehicle, you have you have a similar experience. So the car is locked, so we will unlock it. And you can see the lighting kind of coming in and pulsing out. And then when you lock it, you have that. So, and as you walk up to the vehicle, if you just have the key fob in your pocket, it will also do some different interesting lighting as you approach the vehicle. It's just kind of a little bit of a welcome. That literally just scratches the surface of some of the cool technology in the 2025 Lincoln Navigator. In the second row seats, you have, in addition to the wireless charging, you have massaging seats in the Black Label. You have adjustable seats. You can adjust the climate from a little control panel back there. This specific vehicle also has rear seat entertainment. So there's a lot going on in the second row. And then when you go back to the third row, you have USB-C charge ports, you have cup holders, and you have heated seats. Heated seats are also new for 2025. So there's a lot. There is a lot. There's a lot. And I'm not going to do driving impressions in this video because I do have a review on Pickup Truck Plus SUV Talk that goes into a full first look of what's new and the good things, the bad things, and some driving impressions. So I'll link to that up here, and I will also post a link down in the notes below. So be sure to check that out. But thanks for sticking with me. I hope this was under a half an hour. I don't know yet. till I edit it, but it should be under half an hour. Well, even if it's like 29:29. All right, thanks for sticking with me in this tech check of the 2025 Lincoln Navigator. It's a lot. It's a lot. Please make sure you like, subscribe, and follow down below, and I will see you next time with a new car du jour.